In No Country for Old Men, the Coen brothers explore a world filled with violence, changing values, and generational change. Beneath the story's suspenseful surface lies a deeper question. What does the behavior of the younger generation tell us about the loss of values, the rise of individualism, and the moral ambiguity of a changing world? The film challenges us to reflect on the past and confront the realities of the present. Sheriff Bell is a man caught between two eras. He represents a time when trust and shared responsibility shaped communities. In contrast, the younger generation in the film, the three men on the bridge and the boys on bicycles, live in a world defined by self-interest and survival. This divide reveals the harsh reality of a changing society, one where traditional values no longer seem to hold sway. The Coen brothers highlight this through the stark difference between Bell's reflective monologues and the younger character's pragmatic actions. When Moss encounters the young men on the bridge, he is weak and desperate. Instead of helping him out of compassion, they demand payment for a jacket. This interaction shows how morality often becomes transactional, a reflection of a world where helping someone in need might come with a cost. The young men's actions aren't inherently evil. They're just shaped by an environment that prioritizes self-preservation. The Coen brothers' deliberate framing emphasizes the coldness of this moment, contrasting Moss's vulnerability with the men's indifferent pragmatism. Later, Chigurh's encounter with the two boys on bicycles mirrors this idea. He pays for a shirt to use as a makeshift sling for his injured arm. The boys, much like the men on the bridge, show more curiosity than concern for Chigurh's injuries. Yet, there's a moment of hesitation, a brief argument about what to do, that hints at their innocence.
Take it in. You didn't see me.
This scene's minimal dialogue and subdued lighting underscore the transactional nature of their interaction. But does this behavior mean the younger generation is immoral? Not necessarily. In a world filled with violence and uncertainty, their actions can be seen as practical rather than heartless. Sheriff Bell himself acknowledges that this is a dangerous world where acts of kindness can have dire consequences. Moss's attempt to help a dying man in the desert leads to his downfall, highlighting the risks of altruism in such a brutal environment. These moments invite us to question whether morality becomes a challenge in such an unforgiving world. The harsh economic realities of the border region provide another explanation for these characters' behavior. Poverty, violence, and a lack of trust in others define their lives. For the younger generation, survival often means putting money and self-preservation above moral ideals. This isn't necessarily greed, it's a response to the difficult circumstances they've been born into. The Coen brothers use natural sounds, wind, silence, and expansive shots to evoke the isolation and desperation of the environment. The world itself is the true enemy. From the random shootout that propels the plot to the sheriff's stories of senseless violence, No Country for Old Men paints a bleak picture of modern life. Evil in this film is more than just Anton Chigurh. It's the indifferent, chaotic nature of the world these characters must navigate. Each of the three main characters confronts this enemy differently. Moss fights it, Chigurh embodies its chaos and inevitability, and Sheriff Bell fears it, ultimately choosing to retire. The Coen brothers' sparse use of music heightens the tension, making the world's unpredictability even more palpable. Sheriff Bell's longing for the past highlights a central theme of the film, the idea that things were once better. But was the past ever as moral and orderly as Bell remembers? His stories and reflections suggest that he feels out of place in this new, darker reality. Yet, the film challenges us to question whether his idealized view of the past was ever real. By intercutting Bell's reflections with violent contemporary events, the Coen brothers subtly critique this nostalgia. The younger generation in No Country for Old Men doesn't represent the failure of morality, but rather a survival mechanism shaped by their environment. Their choices mirror the themes of the film: greed, survival, and the indifference of fate. In a world defined by violence and self-interest, their actions are not a rejection of values, but a response to a harsh reality. Sheriff Bell's lament isn't just about these young people. It's about the world that shaped them.
You can't stop what's coming.
The younger characters in No Country for Old Men remind us that morality isn't black and white. Their choices reflect the demands of a world shaped by violence, uncertainty, and survival. As Sheriff Bell suggests, the tragedy lies not in their actions, but in the forces that shape their lives. The film's unflinching look at this harsh reality asks us to consider, what values can survive in such a world? Hi everyone, this was the first video essay made by Filmlab. No Country for Old Men has always been a movie I wanted to talk about. And as you can see in our last half-hour short film, Kidnapped, I was inspired by the nihilism, morality, and neo-Western aspects of this film, as well as other films like Children of Men, Drive, and Seven, that I incorporated into my films. And you can see how these themes influenced my storytelling in some way. On this channel, or on my other channel linked below, I'll continue uploading similar content about film-related topics, as well as showcasing our latest projects. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.